What do you do if you want to do a poo in an English country garden? Well, that's how the song goes, isn't it? And that song is, of course, the theme that plays throughout Bovver, the 1983 game by Jeff Minter of Llamasoft. You know Jeff Minter, Tempest, that kind of thing, flashing games, all very playable, lots of Atari and C64 stuff, and basically no. Well, I think there's one Spectrum title, isn't there? Certainly nothing for the Amstrad. Atari Jaguar, that kind of thing, beard, sheep, goats, you know the rest, superb programmer. This is a game he programmed for the Commodore 64 and was ported to the Atari 8-bit and is curiously British, self-published, of course, originally, but re-released by Mastertronic, which is where I guess you probably got this game, which is where my mate Chris got this game, and I played it first on his Atari XL. So this is where we shall start. Even though it's not the original version, this is a conversion by Aaron Lidiment. So what you do is you're going to be mowing a lawn. It's self-explanatory, really. You have a lawn mowing business of some description, and you don't have a lawnmower, so you're going to borrow them for your mate and basically mow other people's lawns. And the problem is that the people are going to find out and chase you for the lawnmower, and also you mustn't run over the flowers, because if you run over the flowers, the gardener comes after you. The neighbour who you borrowed the mower from will run after you and will go over the flower beds, and the gardener won't. You also have a dog, and you can select which entry lawn you want to start at. There's a 2-player option, but I'm afraid it's 1 player after the other. And of course I select if you want joystick 1 or joystick 2 and how you want to play that. So off we go. Jim won't mind if I borrow his mower. Jim probably will mind if you borrow his mower. Crime Stoppers will of course recommend that you do lock your garage at all times, because thefts from sheds are on the rise, as this game demonstrates from 1983. Here we go. So I'm down the bottom there, and if you hold down the joystick your mower goes faster. There's a black thing running around, that is your dog. It has dog loyalty and dog tolerance. Dog tolerance is like a timer. Or is it dog loyalty? One of them's like a timer that runs down constantly, and the other one is how much you can set your dog on the person chasing after you. And if the mower touches the dog or the dog touches the mower, it freezes and overloads. You mustn't mow the flowers, because if you mow the flowers, the gardener will appear and he will chase after you as well. It's a case of I've done it. I've touched the flowers. The controls take a little while to get used to, because there's inertia. So there we go, off for another mow, and you can speed up that animation. The only way you've got to defend yourself is the dog, so you just hold down that fire button for small amounts of time. Otherwise the dog will just kind of roam around doing its own thing. Although if the dog does come near the bloke chasing you, he will block you off, if you see what I mean. Oh, I've mowed the grass there, so the gardener's over there as well. Oh, the dog's touched the mower again. Let's go to the C64, the original version, playing this on a C64 bread bin today. People like to know this stuff. Sometimes we use C64C, sometimes we use the bread bin. Today we're using the bread bin. So Jim won't mind if I borrow his mower. More colours here on the C64. And so the only reason I put the Atari version first is because that's the version I played first on my mate's Atari 800 XL. And there's also a ChinnyVision version for reasons I don't understand. Perhaps for the American market, I'm not sure. So there we go. It's more colourful and just a little bit more responsive. Oh, the dog's touched me. And also one thing about the Atari version is the music's very low level. I don't know if that's my 65XE, but it is very low level. Oh. You can use objects like the hedge to block yourself off from the people chasing you as well. Although the neighbour... oh, here we go again. Neighbour chasing you can go through the flower beds. The gardener won't cross the flower beds. The dog can be a complete annoyance as he is there. I've got dog loyalty but no dog tolerance. So the dog loyalty meter is basically how much I can set the dog on the people chasing me. The dog tolerance is basically like a timer, and he will just head towards you when the dog tolerance is down really low and just annoy you. So you need to block yourself off. Because he's trying to home in on me there, but he can't because the hedge is in the way. It's trading off the dog tolerance and dog loyalty basically. But I can press fire still if I want him to do stuff. There we go. Right, down there. And the background music is, of course, An English Country Garden by Percy Grainger, and arranged by James Lindsay, which everyone sang at school, as I said in the introduction. What do you do if you want to do a poo in an English country garden? And then something about pulling down your pants. Oh, we could do this, we could do this. That dog is homing in. I'm having to use that dog loyalty. Because as soon as I let go of the fire button, he homes in on me. I just need to block him off, really, and hit the fact he's blocked off. Oh, it's getting very hairy here. Very hairy. Oh, no, no, no. And not much dog loyalty left, and I've got to... Basically, he's just trying to home in on me and finish me off. I can't do this. Not with this life. I'm going to need another life, I think. Oh, this is quite hard. The mower overload. The more you mow, the more the mower overload increases. If you go over the flowers or hit something, if you hit something, like the dog, it immediately overloads. If you go over the flowers, it overloads very quickly. This is now an ideal situation, because both of them are blocked off from me. So that dog tolerance is, although it is a time limit, you can still use here we go. You can still use the dog. It's just he's going to chase after you every time you don't have the fire button pressed down. Well done. Prepare for more mowing. I mean, these neighbours you're borrowing them from. I mean, should you really be borrowing them from them? I don't seem too happy about it. Oh, right. It's about working out each screen and working how you can use the objects to block the neighbour from chasing you. My dog is not very tolerant, as you can probably see. But they just basically home in on you in a straight line. So you just have to use that. Also, if you hit the dog tolerance will immediately drop to 0 to make your life more difficult. But the problem is the dog does tend to get in the way as well, so you need to play it off, really. Back to the Atari version running on my 65 XE. Incidentally, got a 130 XE sitting in the office, but the guy who sold it to me had it listed on eBay as fully restored. Turns up and, yeah, fully restored apparently means just painting some carbon paint onto the keyboard membrane to try and make it work, which it briefly did. And then, well, about half an hour later, it briefly didn't, because that's an idiotic thing to do. So I've got a new keyboard membrane coming from Poland, so we'll be covering that soon here on ChinnyVision. Gameplay-wise, it's exactly the same between these two versions. The television version, I don't have any television to play it. Quite rare in the UK, as far as I know. It's more of an American console. Oh, here we go. Right, now one more stripe. Can I get the one more stripe? Oh, no! Ah. Good old Alf. He's a decent chap. Yeah, someone phone the police. This guy's just stealing mowers willy-nilly. Right. All we got to do is get over there and take out that single strip. Come on, come on, come on. Yay! That's level 2 done. Well done, prepare for more mowing! Canine fidelity bonus as well. Ooh. Jeff Minter did do an update for Windows for Hover Bovver. Essentially an updated version of the game with some power-ups and things. Yeah. Really, the original's where it's at. And this is on level 3, and you've still got 2 objects in there to block the the gardener chasing you, or the neighbour chasing you. But now you've got to watch that speed, because the mower gets faster the longer you hold down in that direction, so it's very easy to have the inertia to send you off flying into the flower beds. Same screen, level 3 on the Atari. I imagine Jeff just ported the same code between the versions and just did some different... Well, it wasn't him, was it? Someone else ported this version, so presumably they had the 6502 code and just got it all working on the Atari. Level 4. And it gets more complicated now. All these hedges and all this grass and all these places the neighbour can go, like on the flower beds that you cannot. And you just got to... Oh, no, that's my own stupidity there. And it just gets more complicated. Less grass to mow, but more to avoid, more flowers to avoid, and no obstructions to keep the neighbour out of the way this time, because of course he can go on the flower beds. Interestingly, Wikipedia lists the genre of this game as maze. I suppose... I don't know. Is it a maze game? It's a... kind of, I suppose. We get a little bit of dialogue down the bottom. Ah, lay off, you beastly hound, which is your neighbour shouting. Again, where's the dog warden to come to collect this dog? If you do run over the flower bed and you get killed, or the mower gets repossessed rather, when you respawn, the gardener won't be there. So at least you don't have to return to a screen that's extra hard. Even more mowing. This one's got a llama in the middle. Basically, it's an empty screen, except you can't mow that llama. You've got all those fiddly little bits. Where you're gonna have, because when you're doing the fiddly bits, you of course slow down as well. And by the way, I mentioned that new Atari 130 XE earlier. Thank you to the channel's Patreon supporters for helping me buy that. And if you want to support the channel, go to patreon.com, type in ChinnyVision, and anyone who pledges $5 will get a ChinnyVision memory stick for the time being, while we still got stock. Hover Bovver, what a fantastic game. I thought it was a fantastic game when I first played it on my mate's 800 XL on Mastertronic, and I still think it's a fantastic, quirky game from Jeff Minter. If someone described the game to you, you'd probably go, well, what's the fuss about? What's that all about? But it's far, far better than that. It's actually a really good, fun game, especially if you were buying this at the $2.99 or $1.99 rather price point. What a fantastic bargain. Jeff Minter's done so many brilliant games down the years, and to play something a little bit more slow-paced, although it isn't slow-paced, a little bit more domestic rather than shoot-em-ups, is a real pleasure. C64 version is the original, and yes, it's the best. It looks better slightly, it definitely sounds better, plays the same as the Atari version. Atari owners aren't really losing out here. It is still a fantastic game on their system. But hey, wouldn't it be fantastic to see this ported to machines like the Spectrum and the Amstrad as well? Come on, someone have a word with Jeff and let's make this happen to get this superb game out onto more platforms. Highly recommended.